This is how inside the mind of a real-world criminal mastermind would look like. We often watch shows about crime operations and wonder if characters like these actually exist in the real world. The answer is, well, most likely, but we'll never know what they're actually like, unless we are somehow involved with them, which I don't advise or encourage. But what if you get slapped in the face with a terminal illness and think, hey, what the hell? Well, that is what Walter White did. And that's what led him to get involved with the extremely powerful leader, Gus Fring. This man is brilliant. In fact, that might even be an understatement. His behavior is so subtle yet intriguing. Gus Fring is one of the most influential yet interestingly graceful antagonists that we have ever seen. Combined with the fact that the writing and production of this series is top tier, Gus is exactly how I would imagine a realistic criminal leader to act like. So as you might have assumed, I'm going to analyze Gus Fring's behavior, point out some key pointers in the show, and explain exactly why he was so calculated and perfect for the job he was in. His behavior is calm, confident, and mysterious. He always appears to be in control, and he thinks deeply and carefully about his every move. He already exudes power and influence even before we get to see him speaking in action. Gus Fring's superpower is one that you too can have to be powerful and influential. And as simple as it sounds, people rarely follow it. Observe, understand, and work with people's desires. In this scene, we can see that Walt wants to back out of the business with Gus, but Gus needs him to stay because nobody can create product the way that Walter White can. The first glimpse of Gus in the scene is he takes a seat and we can instantly notice this fine detail on his shirt, a blue ribbon. Now, this clearly is a cancer awareness ribbon, and since the show is packed with symbolism, this was obviously intentional. One theory is perhaps Gus likely knew that Walt was looking to back out and he wore it to show warmth and respect towards Walt in persuading him to stay. A man like Gus is quite observational. He pays very close attention to the emotions of others. His wearing this ribbon may perhaps symbolize his perceptiveness.
I like to think I see things in people.
He knew what was coming, he planned for it, and he has a laser focus on other people's desires. One of Walt's deepest desires is to feel truly respected, and Gus wearing the ribbon may pose as a symbol of respect for Walt, or just that Gus wants it to appear that way. Another theory, one that I believe, is the ribbon represents Walt's impact on others. It is my belief that the color blue in of itself is a symbol. It's the color of Walt's product, but we also see this color reappear time and time again when Walt affects those around him, including Gus. It's interesting, perhaps genius, to show Gus with just a speck of blue on him when him and Walt started really working together, representing Walt's tiny impact on him, and later being encompassed in full blue as Walt continues to cause him to suffer in a deep fixed blue during his defeat. I believe the main message of this show, the deepest message, is that your actions affect those around you, even if you don't realize it all the time, especially with Jesse, who arguably suffered the most from Walt's actions and was acknowledged the least. So this ribbon may be more than what it seems. It appears on several people throughout the show, almost like a mark tracking everyone Walt has impacted and will impact. Gus is an excellent listener, and as we analyzed in the previous Thomas Shelby video, powerful men often tend to present similar behavior. It's a calm, cool, and collected demeanor. Gus is sitting in a relaxed position. He's making direct eye contact and listening intently. We can see how he appears secure in himself. A belligerent, angry man will only appear to be out of control. He doesn't have control over his emotions, so he must not have control over his life, right? Appearing powerful comes down to containing and managing emotion, ego, and pride, and Gustavo is the epitome of a powerful man, one who uses his brilliant mind and his eye for observation to rise to the top. So, as Walt struggles to get the words out in breaking off this arrangement with Gus, Gus sits, listens intently, calmly, and respectfully, and then he proposes a deal of a lifetime, a deal that a man like Walt, who can be seriously controlled by thoughts and feelings of greed, would struggle to turn down. And just for a flicker, for a moment, we saw that glint in Walt's eye.
3 million.
That pause and moment of weakness as he pictured a life with all that money. But he stops himself. Walt, at this point in the show, wants to be respected. He also runs on fear of losing and hurting his loved ones. He isn't yet addicted to that adrenaline rush and the thrill that we see later on in the show. He is still somewhat in the beginning stage where respect is what he was truly seeking and his fear of losing loved ones is what he was trying to prevent. So now we understand his desires and his fears, and that's why he turned it down. So Gus understood that pushing any further would no longer make him appear in full control, so he decided to proceed with warmth. He shook Walt's hand warmly and respectfully, smiled, and walked off. But this was just part of his plan. He played on Walt's greed, one of his weaknesses, but it was not enough. Now he plans to play on Walt's pride, a huge determining factor to Walt's character. Gus leaves Walt be for a few days while he plots to show interest in working with Jesse. This brings out a ton of negative feelings. Walt feels jealous, but also insulted. A comparison of Jesse's capabilities to Walt's capabilities had Walt in a whirl. He thinks, only I have these skills. How could anyone compare my product to Jesse? Mixed with jealousy that Jesse would be continuing to work, but with someone else. Walt can't stand to feel underestimated in what he knows for certain he is talented in. Walt has an I know best mentality, and he believes that the best thing to do is to give up. But Gus knew what to do next by questioning him and challenging him. It did hook in Walt for a moment. However, Walt surprised him.
That you believe I have some proprietary kind of selfishness about my own formula. Some sort of overweening pride, I suppose, that you think simply overwhelms me.
He realized what Gus was doing, and people hate to be manipulated. This may have just put Walt further away from any idea of rejoining. Now it's on Gus to do damage control.
I apologize for being so transparent.
This is a very carefully selected set of words. Instead of admitting to his manipulation, he referred to it as transparency, implying that he made it obvious that he was looking to poke at Walt, that it was innocent, and lessening the idea of any manipulation. When Gus warmly apologizes and invites Walt out on a ride, he adds the element of anticipation and surprise when he introduces him to the lab. Walt is amazed. The likelihood of getting caught has drastically decreased. Walt can do what he loves and is passionate about, chemistry, and make millions of dollars with it in a short time. This had Walt disillusioned. He couldn't believe how incredible the opportunity was, but he continued to worry about his family. He may not get caught by the police, but his family still won't love and support him if he continued down this path. This was Walt's single most prominent obstacle. He's so used to doing what other people expect of him, being a people pleaser, folding for others, and this habit is exceptionally hard to break, even when faced with an unbelievable opportunity such as this. So, after staring in amazement, he still turns it down, because he still truly believes that he knows best. The next time you want something from someone with an I know best mentality, question the knowledge on which the other person's opinion was founded on. Influencing others requires understanding how to control a conversation, and Walt is one of the most difficult people to influence, since greed, pride, and jealousy were not enough to sway him. So Gus's final way of regaining control is to move Walt's position from one of certainty to one of doubt. Typically, people try to create this position of uncertainty by challenging the other person's opinion and perhaps even entering into an argument. If you've had moments like these where you're unable to sway someone or overcome their preconceptions when introducing new ideas, challenge the knowledge for which it was founded on. And here's an example. How did Gus do this? He questioned Walt's logic and mixed in a feeling of responsibility and doubt. Walt was certain that leaving this business was best for his family.
This costs me my family.
Walt's statement alone, combined with his reluctance, revealed what truly mattered to Walt the most at this point in time: his family. So Gus said this.
What does a man do, Walter? A man provides for his family. And he does it even when he's not appreciated, or respected, or even loved. He simply bears up, and he does it because he's a man.
Walter has always felt weak, emasculated, submissive, and easy to control. His friends and family would make fun of him. Hank specifically found humor and joy in this, and always picked on Walt so that he could feel bigger and more masculine. He also never made much money, and now he has a terminal illness. Gus asks him, "What does a man do, Walter?" By asking this, Walt felt weak and emasculated for a moment. He's filled with doubt. Am I a good husband and father? Am I strong and capable? This question deeply planted doubt in Walt's mind. Doubt for the single most important thing to him, his family. These questions allow the person to realize their opinion is perhaps not correct, and then they can quickly become more receptive to change. By Gus using words like this, combining Walt's weaknesses, fears with doubt, and providing a solution, he made Walt feel like everybody wins. Him, his family, and Gus. And that was extremely effective. And that's when Walt started showing up to the lab and working. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I'll be posting every week, twice a week. My next video will be about Cal Jacobs, and I'm working on the requests I get in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss them.